Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Texas Legion. I am your host, Hamamalo, aka John, and we're going to look at how I go about building a list for the Empire. And so I've got pulled up here a list for the Empire, and it's one I just made. I'm calling it Fat Dark So Many Acts because it's kind of ridiculous, but I think it could be really good. First thing I did is I want to incorporate Imperial Probe Droids into my list. And I also want to have Dark Troopers. So the Dark Troopers are the main damage dealers of this list, and they can do a whole lot, especially when they're fully kitted out with the Frag Launcher, which is going to give you Blast, Cycle, extra 2 health. The Assault Cannon, which is 4 black dice, always good to having that critical 1 because they don't natively surge. And then Program Loyalty, of course, always great to have an extra aim or a dodge, especially the first few rounds. So if I'm having Dark Troopers, it's 2 of them. I definitely need to take Moff Gideon, especially just for his command cards. And then because I'm doing the Probe Droids, the Observed one is actually kind of really nice. So having the Imperial Probe Droids, they're so annoyingly good. For 35 points, it's 4 health, white surging to save, which is not bad, but it's cheaper than a Rebel Trooper squad. And you're getting Observed 3 for free, Self-Destruct for free. They have Disengage, Infiltrate, and their Hover Air 1. And then their gun is 2 white, 2 black, range 1 melee. Pretty good for 35 points. So you stack them on top of some Scout Troopers, which are also white save, 4 health. They're Courage 2, they get low profile, so they're a little bit tankier when they have cover, but man, for 249 points, you have 6 acts. For 25% of your army, you're putting 6 acts. That's really good. And then I did 2 double stuffs of the T-21 because Moff Gideon with Ruthless is really nice on these. Didn't put March on them just because I didn't have the points. I could drop this. That's 80 points that I could throw somewhere else. Get another act in there if I really wanted to. But I wanted something that is beefy to back up the Dark Troopers because I can't have the Dark Troopers be the only source of damage. So but this is the thing about this list, is you have 2 giant sources of damage and focus points with the Dark Troopers. You have 2 big sources of damage with the T-21s, which you don't need the aims because you have the Probe Droids. And so the Probe Droids are out there passing out all these Observe tokens. They're doing 12 Observe tokens a round, which is so actually ridiculous to be able to just, for free, or 9 Observe tokens. 9 Observes a round for free. That's 4 free games. 4.5 free games, essentially, of dice, which is really good. Any way you throw it, that's really, really good. And so to have that many dice possibly stacked up is just solid. So now you have these focus pieces, and then because they're focusing on all of this stuff, your scouts, your probes are going to be able to get a run around on the map and do whatever they want. And so now the enemy has to decide what are they going to do, what are they going to focus on. And so I was thinking about objectives to play, and I thought Close the Pocket would be pretty solid on this one, because you can play either flank pretty easily, and then because you have Ruthless on Moff Gideon, you can run those Stormtroopers in there. Round 2, you have something I want, and throw one of your darks into the middle point, and would be pretty simple game plan to take Close the Pocket. Bunker Assault, of course, is great because you can throw 1 dark over here on this side, your other on the other side, and just throw all 6 probes and scouts onto one side, and your T-21s, honestly, you could throw 2 darks over here, your T-21s on all 6 of your special forces, and they're gonna run up this side, and they're gonna have to respond to it, and they can't deal with the darks, so the darks are just gonna be plodding here. Round 3, they're gonna be here. What you gonna do? Because round 1, double move, you're already right here. Round 2, you double move again. Round 3, you're contesting. Like, how are you going to deal with that? That's going to be really oppressive to deal with. And then breakthrough. This one is a little bit more of a high quality type play. So it's not the best, but it also works pretty well. So Moff Gideon goes on the side with your stormtroopers, of course. You throw one dark trooper to the other side, whichever side you choose. And then you have Moff Gideon, one of the dark troopers, all of your stormtroopers defending one side. You have one dark trooper defending the other, and then you kind of decide as the first round's playing out, where do you put your scouts and your probes? Because say they heavily overload one side, no big deal. Put all your scouts and probes on the other, and they're gonna run up, and the other guy's gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, there's 6 dudes coming at me. I don't know what to deal with this. And because you're running double darks, you really have 14 activations. And so most people are running 13, 12 activations. You don't care because you play standing orders round 1. And you give your order to Moff Gideon. The other dark gets an entourage order. You have mostly scout special forces in your bag, or you just play assault because you don't care. You have 14 activations. Like, give orders to Moff and your stormtroopers, or all 3 of your stormtroopers, and improvise orders when you get Moff. Like, or you give them to one of the darks, Moff, a stormtrooper. I mean, it's a pretty good move. There's not much like counter to that, because you're gonna always get the last act with 14. I mean, even with standing orders, you just give the order to the other dark, and boom, now both of your darks are out there. As soon as you pull Moff Gideon, you improvise it, and that's pretty good stalling tactics, if I might say so. Then for secondaries, you have Supply Run, which Dark Troopers are so good. I can't stress this enough, how good Dark Troopers are in Supply Run. People underestimate this, because one of the reasons they are so good is because they can contest, or they can take an asset token, such as the supply cache. They can grab that in the same round and then move forward into contesting or scoring of a POI, and on their next activation, score it. And so I played a tournament game at the Texas Open where I had one Dark Trooper, and that Dark Trooper was able to score me. I think he scored me 4 points off of Supply Run, because I was able to grab my 2 and score I grabbed one of my supply runs plus the enemy supply run and scored it the same round I claimed it, which my opponent was not ready for that. And then I ended up winning that game 19-1. It was a crazy game. But anyways, supply run was a big part of it, because I scored them late in the game, and he was not ready for those Dark Troopers to be able to grab a supply run in one move, score it the next. And it's so strong for Dark Troopers. And now that you have 2 of them, I mean, honestly, I would just match them. Like, wherever the blue player, if you're red player and the blue player puts both their supply runs on one side, you match with those Dark Troopers and your supply runs on the same side, and you run your Dark Troopers up, you're gonna score all 4. Like, not guaranteed, but it's pretty close, because you can get up there, you can kill stuff. There's nothing they can do about 2 sets of Dark Troopers. They're gonna have to commit their entire army to that side just to play the secondary, and you're winning the other side with your scouts and your probe droids. And there's just not much they can do. It's hilarious. I also really like mark targets for a similar reason. You mark both your Dark Troopers and one of your super squads, or you mark both your Dark Troopers. They're probably going to mark a probe droid or a scout. Okay, great. I just move them away to where you never score them. And now I have a chance of scoring all 4 of mine, and you only have a chance of scoring 2, because, and it's a low chance because you're trying to eat through 10 health red saves and 3 armor. Like, that's pretty hard to do. Then you can do surface scan, and this is so easy. You just put them on your probe droids, and you just run outside your deployment zone. You peek out, you throw down 3 observes, you go back into hiding. It's a real easy VP each time. And if it looks like you're about to contest the enemies, you can run in, contest that scanner token. Super simple. Now for my advantages, because the new advantages aren't out yet, I took Garrison, which is always, I think, really good, because then you can give the order to those guys, garrison them, run Moff Gideon onto the board, ruthless that Stormtrooper squad forward, and so they get a move, shoot, or a triple move into something, and so that makes their effective range really good. Cunning deployment's always good. Throw it on your darks, give them extra dodges, move them out early, or you put it on your probe droids, your scouts, it's all good. And then advanced intel. If somebody gives you advanced intel, they're just not playing the game right. Like, it's just so... I mean, to have 15 activations round 1, and with all that stuff, that's just kind of ridiculous. So, but yeah, this is one of those lists. So now let's build our own list from the start. So this one, I've been wanting to play around the idea with the probe droids some more, but I want to pair them with the Death Troopers. And so I think there's some really interesting things you can do with the Death Troopers. I like throwing the DL-19D, especially now that it's 28 points. Those 2 points really didn't make a difference. So you can throw 3 of them down, plus our 3 probe droids. I think it's so good. Let's throw Krennic in there so we get a 4th of each. Now we have 12 observe tokens thrown out. And look, we still have 419 points left. So, I mean, I like putting improv on Krennic because that just feels good. And I like giving him extra binoculars, so now he's spotter 2. 400 points left to work with. I think this list could do well with a Snowtrooper Flamer Super Squad. And then a couple of Storms T21s with a Specialist. And March. So this loadout right here, you do Stormtroopers with the T21. Gives you 9 white dice, surging 2 with an aim, round 1. And because you run Recon Intel plus Imperial March, you're doing a speed 1, speed 3. So you're moving range 2 up the board. And then you have a range 3 shot. 9 white crit 2. That's really good. And especially when you do it 3 times, that's pretty solid. Gotta give these guys March. Now we have 43 points to play with. And I'll take a peek here. That's 13 activations. And we have a really clean order pool. 8 special forces. 8 special forces. 4 core and a leader. And we still have 43 extra points we could play with. Now, we could just throw a random extra core in there. There's nobody that's cheap enough. I mean, if we could get Callus in, that would be fun. Let's try to throw Callus in here. So 27 points we got to play around with. Now, the easy answer is to get rid of that. So we're not losing activations. We're actually up an activation, 14 points. Now, Callus needs some help. He's got a free observe 2, charge, bounty, direct trooper. Not bad. But he doesn't surge anything, which is frustrating. So he can either go the defensive or the offensive. He is immune melee pierce. So I think it's usually better to go into the fray with him. And you have 9 points left. We can throw 9 points either into Callus. This is where you have to make a choice. Do you... I really wish he had one more training slot. Like, if he had one more of these, that would be so good. His 13 points... there's a lot you could do with it. A lot of people like going offensive push and then extra supplies, so you get an aim, so you can get your lethal, which is okay. But when he's your only anti-Jedi threat, I think Into the Fray is better with emergency stems. And now this is just Observe Heaven. So you get 2 aims from binoculars. You get Observe 2 from Callus. Some stealth march, just kind of to 3 T-21s. They're doing a lot of damage. 4 DL-19 Death Troopers, which are always going to be hitting strong. And then you have 4 Probe Droids. And so for command cards, easy. You just take your heroes here. You don't really need to take anything else. Like, it's just, they're that good. So, Voracious Ambition, Cunning 1 pip, always take it. Face Me is good, I think, for a round where you are fighting somebody who is a Jedi. It's really good. I think just in general, it's a good move, because the only problem is force push, but most people aren't taking force push right now. A lot of the higher competitive guys aren't taking as many force pushes because it's so expensive. Like, that's a whole super squad. Force push versus super squad. I mean, a super squad is almost probably always better in terms of, I think that's an arguable statement, but I don't know if there's ever a time where I'm like, I would prefer a force push over a super squad. So it's not a bad bet to take that. Play the Garrison, 2 pip, Cunning, pretty good. ISB, people underestimate this card. You don't see it a whole lot. It's really actually pretty solid. You can play it turn 1, play it turn 2. You have 14 activations. And so if you know that you're playing versus a Vader who's going to implacable round 2, or you know that Luke is next turn going to be playing I'm a Jedi, you play this card and you're like, okay, great, now you can't shut off everything, Luke. Or great, now you can't play implacable Vader, or you can't play Krennic 3 pip, or whatever it might be, or Yoda 3 pip, which actually that could come in handy. Excuse me. But when it's pretty clear, you could play this. Even round 1, you could play this because you know, like, you have 14 activations. You don't really care if you go first on this one. Like, if you just pull from your bag and you're more than likely going to get a Probe Droid. Throw Probe Droid out there. Get some observes down. You're going to do great, and it's going to be fine. So I like that. Ruthless Tactics. This one is actually really good with all the Probe Droids. So every time you make a ranged attack, after attack is resolved, the defending unit gains 1 observe token. Additionally, until the end of the round, each time an allied unit declares attack against an enemy unit that has 1 or more observe tokens, the attacking unit may spin one of those, and if it does, the attack will gain suppressive. So with this, you can be really ridiculous. And so you can give orders to your Death Troopers or your 3 specialists. Give it to the 3 specialists. Now they got orders, whatever, it doesn't matter. So you go with your Probe Droids first. You throw down observes on everything. Then, or 1 Probe Droid, and he observes 3 different things. Then you shoot them, right, with your Death Troopers. So you split your fire. You throw your DL-19 at one thing, you throw your normal guns at the other. All of a sudden, you've just laid 4 suppression down with 1 guy. You do it again. You do it again. You're going to be throwing down so much suppression simply because you have so many observes. I think this would be a great round 2 card, just because so many observers you could throw out. And if they come forward anywhere, like, you don't even have to contest a POI at that point, because you're going to suppress them. Like it's insane how much suppression you can throw down, because you have 8 units that can shoot from range 3 in your army. You have 4 units that can throw down suppression. So you just go with all your probe droids. They move out, they throw down suppression. Odds are you're going to suppress things before the other person can actually activate with them. And so you're going to be moving into range as they have to move first, because you're just going with your probe droids, so you don't care. I think this is a really cheeky round 2 card. Is you play your probe droids first, you give out suppression tokens second with everything else. Like, that's really good. And of course, annihilation rooms, great round 4 or 5 card. Give everything 2 suppression tokens. Keep your probe droids close to Krennic. They're going to panic really fast, so just keep them close to Krennic and you don't have to worry. And of course, standing orders. So for the primaries, I mean, Bunker Assault's a no-brainer. It's just because it's easy, right? This list, however, you only have 1 commander, so you don't want to play Breakthrough because that's too far splitting up. Close to Pocket's not bad, because round 2 or 3, you play Ruthless Tactics. Oh no, they're suppressed. Play it round 3, everything on the middle POI is suppressed. They're not going to score. Then round 4, you play Annihilation Looms. Oh no, they're still not scoring. And you're scoring your side. That's pretty good. And then shifting priorities is also really easy. And then outflank, maybe. Outflank, this is what I would do if you got stuck in outflank. I wouldn't do any Vanguard units. I would just put everything here and focus on taking these 3. Because they're going to, if they want to score that, they're going to have to waste a unit going over there to score it, and they're not going to be within range to shoot anything. So you can focus on these 3, and you can kill their Vanguard, which is not actually a bad play at all. And then you have shifting. Shifting, I think, is actually really solid with your probe droids, because you throw 1 probe droid over there, you throw a couple over here, you go for the middle, and you're going to be scoring 3 every round and suppressing them off theirs. Yeah, so I actually think shifting is pretty solid for you with that list. For secondaries, you can do Bring Them Heal in this one, because you're close with Krennic. With these guys, not a big deal. Callus is Courage 2, these guys Courage 2, these Courage 1. So they can get panicked pretty easily. However, you can also do it too. You don't want destroy enemy base. Mark targets is meh. On this one, recon mission is not bad because you have Callus. Surface scans, super easy. Probe droids, easy peasy. And then supply runs, not too hard with probe droids either. Definitely do Black Ops, because if you take Black Ops, you can infiltrate your snowtroopers in, which is really nice, and you give them order round 1. And because you have 14x, you can go last with them and respond to somebody's stuff. And it's easy. It's really easy. It's really easy. Yeah. Advanced Intel, of course, somebody gets that to you, they're out of their mind. And then you don't have a whole lot of armor, anti-armor, besides the Impact 1. Which is not a big deal, I think, with this list, because you have Crit 2 with these guys. They're T21s. So I don't know if you really need Ordnance. That's kind of like a preference thing at this point. I wouldn't really take Garrison, because you don't have anything that's great at garrisoning. Fortified positions could be nice because you are a gun line. And having something to help you, especially if you're doing a tournament mode. Having fortified positions is just nice to have in your bag. Honestly, especially if you fix some tables, you throw down a couple of bunkers, and now you have some pretty nice heavy cover to get behind, and it's helpful. And I think cutting deployment's always good. You throw it on your T21s, they're going to be going out early, so your death troopers can come out late and just blast things, or vice versa. It's good. I think personally here I'd take cutting deployment. Strafing run's also good if you get If you know you're going to bring them to heal, you can take strafing run. It's not a bad play. But I like cunning deployment just for the free dodges. And that's a crazy observation list with 4 probe droids, Agent Callus, and some death troopers. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys again soon.